Hi everybody, I'm Emer Maguire and thank you so much for having me as part of the Fame Lab Ireland final. I know this is an incredibly unusual way to be having the final, but I really hope everybody's keeping safe and healthy and happy during this uncertain time. It's also very weird coming to you from a room in my house, but this is quite cool. I've been watching the final so far, I'm sure, and I'm also sure that everyone will have been absolutely amazing. I feel like I've watched so many Fame Labs over the years, and the Irish final always amazes me. I feel like there's so much talent on this island, so thank you so much for sharing your work with us. I usually like to tell people a little bit about myself at things like this, just so you guys can get to know me. And do you know what this is like? Actually, I can't get this thought out of my head. This is kind of like it's back in the day, and I'm doing like a 2 camera getting to know me video for like a weird dating agency or something. But the reason I'm here at Fame Lab is because I'm a past Fame Labber myself. So back in 2015, which seems like an absolute lifetime ago, it seems forever ago, I won Fame Lab UK, and I've kind of been in love with science communication ever since. But what I also love is writing music, so I thought I could leave the complicated science to you guys and join you for a bit of a light-hearted musical interval set with a couple of scientific facts thrown in for good measure. Basically see if I can cheer everybody up a little bit, given, as I say, the weird times that we're in. So to give you a little bit of an insight into who I am, I kind of started to ask people around me, family, friends, sent out messages and said, look, I want to write this song introducing myself. What words come into your head whenever you think about me? And I was kind of expecting, the classics, like hilarious, charming, adorable. But the one that consistently came out on top was socially awkward. I know, I don't get it either. I'm an absolute delight, but people kind of said that over and over again. So I thought, maybe it's true. People are probably saying it for a reason. So I started to look into the science behind being socially awkward to see if there was anything in it. I was kind of hoping it was going to be like that whole thing. If one sense was dulled, and other would be heightened. And it kind of is the case. So there's actually a psychologist called Tai Tashiro who discovered that people who are socially awkward have some specialist skills. And let's be honest, guys, this is a science competition. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only socially awkward one here, am I right? And this psychologist found that socially awkward people see things differently, which can be an advantage. They can have a different perspective. He also found that research shows that socially awkward people excel in science, technology, and maths. So if we didn't know that. And finally, that what people lack in social skills, they make up for in striking, intense talent in one area. I thought that was so cool. I loved that. But for me, kind of in the true style of not fitting in terms of being socially awkward, I don't really have an intense striking talent in one area. What I do have, though, is a guitar. So I thought I could write my introductory song based on that. And this is about some of the kind of socially awkward situations that I've found myself in during the course of my lifetime. I hope some of you fellow Fame Labbers out there can identify with this. This is Socially Awkward, part 1 of 47. Socially awkward, it's like my brain is sick. My normalness gets blurred when I'm out in public. I giggle at funerals, think that it's okay to just smile and nod even though I cannot hear you. Please don't ask me a question, cause I have got no idea what we're talking about. One time I walked into a shop, didn't have what I needed in stock, but now I can't leave without buying anything that would only look suspicious. My paranoia is fictitious, I don't care, I spend a fortune on things I don't need. I buy some milk and I'm lactose intolerant. I'm gluten free and I bought 7 loaves of wheaten bread. I bought some cigarettes, I don't even know how to smoke. I should have walked out of the shop instead, I'm socially awkward. It's like my brain is sick, my normalness gets blurred when I'm out in public. I giggle at funerals, stiffen when you praise me. Think it's okay to say your ma seems why lazy, she's really lazy. Why would I say she's not? She seems pretty lazy. So now I'm trying to leave my work, but up ahead I see some jerk smiling and holding the door for me. I alternate between run and walk. I hope he doesn't try to talk. This weird shuffle's making it look like I need to pee, but I just say thanks and he holds open another door. I say thanks again and then think, oh no, I've been trapped here before. If we don't break the cycle, this will never end. So I jump out the nearest window. Thanks a lot, my friend. I'm socially awkward. It's like my brain is sick. My normalness gets blurred when I'm out in public. I giggle at funerals, stiffen when you hug me. Think it's okay to say that baby's ugly if it's really ugly. Why would I say he's cute? He's clearly ugly. I'm socially awkward. So I think in terms of being socially awkward, I feel like there's a little bit of a reason why people think that I'm a little bit weird. So I say weird, people usually say, and if you've got this before, this is the same thing. People usually say, oh, Emer's very quirky, isn't she? Very quirky. I know they mean weird. It's fine. But I feel like that all kind of started for me in childhood. I feel like I had quite a pretty bad start in life. So whenever I was about 2.5, okay, I kind of developed these weird symptoms. And when my brother was 2.5, he developed the same thing. And the symptoms included things like being ignored by our parents or kind of having these constant feelings of mediocrity. And it turned out we were both middle children. I wonder if there's anybody here in the group who performed today that's a middle child. I'm guessing yes, because it's a very middle child thing to get up and demand attention on a stage for any amount of minutes. So I'm guessing we've got a few. But middle child syndrome was actually suggested by a psychologist in the early 20th century who thought, yes, this is a definite syndrome. And he said that anyone who wasn't the oldest child or the youngest child counted as a middle child. There's even a middle child day. Did you know that? No, nobody cares. It's August 12th. I keep telling my parents every year, keep ignoring me. So you have to look back and think, why do middle children feel left out? So the oldest get the privileges and responsibilities by virtue of being the oldest. The youngest get babied and spoiled, and then the middle child has no clear role in the family. And I always think about it, my parents would say about my big sister, and this is the eldest child. We're so proud of her. She's getting the keys to the farm. She is going to carry on our family's belief, all that kind of stuff. And then about my wee brother, the baby. And Sean's the wee baby. Isn't he adorable? Isn't he lovely? He's about 6'3" and he's 24. How lovely is he? He's a lovely wee thing. Nobody has ever said about me or my other brother, and these are the middle ones. Nobody says a thing. I think they've forgotten we exist. But the guy who suggested middle child syndrome said that the lack of parental attention that you receive as a middle child makes you more likely as an adult to fight injustice, which I thought was so cool. In fact, more than half of the US presidents to date have been middle children. That's a pretty good way to get your parents' attention, isn't it? But I wanted to look for studies that talked about the positivities associated with being a middle child. And one study said that middle children are more likely to be socially strong and have flourishing careers. And guys, I have to say, flourishing is not the F word that my dad used when I said I was going to, pursue a career in musical scientific comedy. But I decided to write a song about all the things I've experienced as a middle child to kind of rise up against the injustices of always being this kind of pale from standing in your sibling's shadow, of always having to sit in that middle seat in the back of the car when you were wee. That was definitely the job of a middle child. So I hope some of you can identify with this. This is middle child syndrome. You know that you're the middle child. If every time your mother smiled around you, you both knew she was thinking about the other two. You know that you're the middle child. If when your family all played hide and seek, it was a week before they noticed you were gone at all. You know that you're the middle child. If every time your dad called your name without shame, you'd say Catherine, Mary, Connor, Sean, Sarah, Susan, Kara, John, Mary, Joseph, Toto, Ben. What's your name again? Middle children, full of crippling self-doubt and jealous rage. Middle children, unfairly disliked because of birth order and age, and we'll never understand why we're vilified until we have our own kids and we hate our own middle child. You know that you're the middle child. If any time you ever cried, your mum took you aside and said, I'll give you something to cry about. Even though you'd broken both your legs, your parents didn't really care, but they brought your sister to A&E when she got chewing gum in her hair. You know that you're the middle child. If you showed your parents this song and they both laughed along and told you that it wasn't wrong. Middle children, full of crippling self-doubt and jealous rage. Middle children, unfairly disliked because of birth order and age, and we'll never understand why we're vilified until we have our own kids and we hate our own middle child. So that's kind of a little bit of an insight into the mind of a middle child, and like I say, I hope a couple of you do identify with that. So finally, thank you so much for sticking with us so far. Finally, given the time that we're in, I wanted to talk just for a tiny second about, loneliness and lockdown. I know people are having a really hard time at the minute. And I once read a really interesting study about the power of music on the mind. And it was a study by a psychologist called Hanser. And her study focused on looking at the connection between music and scores of anxiety and depression in older, sometimes isolated adults. And what her study did was it split groups of adults into 3 groups. One group got full music therapy, one group got diluted music therapy, and one group got no music therapy. And in both groups who got music therapy, there was a dramatic decrease in their anxiety and depression scores, and those scores lasted long term. And for me, I just think the fact that music has been proven to make us feel good. There are lots of studies talking about the fact that music lowers your stress levels, can even improve levels of immunoglobulin A antibody in your saliva. It can improve your blood pressure, help with anxiety and general well-being. I think given the fact that music has been proven to make us feel good, and given the fact that we're in lockdown, I could play a song linking those things. So one day into lockdown, I was very, very bored, and I was trying to figure out things that I could do around the house to keep occupied, and I started to write a list of those things, and then I thought, why don't I put this in a song? So it's a song about ideas for things that you could do to keep occupied, and this one is literally just for the happiness factor. This is Lockdown. I really hope you enjoy this. So we're in lockdown, stuck in quarantine. I'm socially distant, but I think I've always been. So here's some ideas to keep you occupied, to keep our souls happy while we're hanging out inside. Call up your sister, tell her she's got class. FaceTime your granny and agree it's terrible they cancelled mass. WhatsApp your brothers, check their money's doing fine. Text your dad and suggest he pours your mother a glass of wine. Organise your cupboards, find some random herbs and spices. Discover you'll still never use that turmeric in this crisis. Look down the sofa for an extra bit of cash. We'll need it when this is over and we're all out on the lash. We're in lockdown, stuck in quarantine. I'm socially distant, but I think I've always been. So here's some ideas to keep you occupied, to keep our souls happy while we're hanging out inside. Go on and cut your fringe, you've always wanted bangs. Who cares if it goes wrong, no one will see you're ostracized. Have a major Netflix binge, maybe learn to dance. Eat Doritos for your dinner while you're chilling in your pants. Act out scenes of movies with your dog playing the lead. Or pretend you're in Crufts and he'll win best in breed. Or get out your playing cards, have a game of Snap. Maybe don't need some toilet roll unless you're full of crap. We're in lockdown, stuck in quarantine. I'm socially distant, but I think I've always been. So here's some ideas to keep you occupied, to keep our souls happy while we're hanging out inside. Try Try some online yoga, learn to speak Francais. Gather up your friends and have a Facebook Live soiree. Open up your wardrobe and have a fashion show. Look into the mirror and tell yourself you're beautiful. Do 100 push-ups, iron everything in sight. Eat your body weight in chocolate, tell yourself you'll be alright. Maybe make a scrapbook, learn to play the violin. WhatsApp your football teammates while you're knocking back the gin. We're in lockdown, stuck in quarantine. I'm socially distant, but I think I've always been. So here's some ideas to keep you occupied, to keep our souls happy while we're hanging out inside. Write a song about a virus that's trying to ruin the world, stealing hopes and lives and money, but it won't keep down this Irish girl. If we all just pull together, keep each other entertained, won't be long till we are out there dancing in the rain. We're in lockdown, stuck in quarantine. I'm socially distant, but I think I've always been. Just keep your head up, wash your hands and keep combined. Stay apart to stick together, most importantly, be kind. Thank you so much for watching. I've been Emer Maguire. A massive good luck to everyone who performed tonight, and also a massive thank you to FameLab for having me. Hopefully I'll get to see all of you in person someday. Thank you.